ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we are back on the Yodo bike, Leopard Mid-Drive Edition, and I've done one very significant upgrade to this bike. I've changed the rear derailleur, and I've changed the rear cassette. So the rear derailleur now is a clutch derailleur, so that's gonna make sure there's always tension on the chain. And the rear cassette is now 12 or 13 all the way to 46 teeth in the back. So that's going to give me way better low gearing than the biggest granny gear it had before, which was 34. And we're going to test that out right now. We're going to see how it climbs our steep hill climb test. We'll also take a look at some of the top speed changes. My guess it's going to be pretty much the same, between 28 and 30 miles an hour for the most part. And most importantly, we're going to check out the Grassy area hill climb test. The undefeated hill. So far, the only bike that's defeated that hill, throttle only, is my dual motor Cycle. And by the way, I'm so confident in this gearing, we're going to go ahead and just start at the base. So we got our speedometer out. This is on the lowest gear, the 46 tooth sprocket. Let's see how it does. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Boom. Whoa. Front wheel lifted up a little bit. So we can climb easily at about 9 to 10 miles an hour. Look at that. And you can hear the motor has some good RPM to it. It's not getting bogged down. It's not struggling at all. That's very impressive. So now what we'll go ahead and do is see how it does on the second smallest sprocket. I'll put up on the screen how many teeth it has. And once again, we're going to start pretty much at the base of the hill. Here we go, 3, 2, 1, boom. Still going pretty quick, but if you guys can hear, the motor is getting bogged down just a little bit more. But we are easily now able to climb almost anything. The next upgrade I have to do to this bike are the brake pads. The material is very loud. I thought it would get better with time as the brakes bedded in, but it did not. So we got to switch up the brake pads next. And then this is going to be a very solid mid-drive bike. Hear that? Here's some very loud brakes. So what we're going to do now is start the bike in the middle of the hill, the most challenging part. We'll see how it does. All right, we're going to start this off in the middle of the hill where almost any other bike would get bogged down. This is very challenging for bikes. Let's see how this does. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, boom. Whoa, the front wheel lifted up. My God, but look at that. It just powers through. The gearing is just insane. So the max speed on gear 1, it's a very, very low gear. Looks like it's about, going up this hill, 11, 12 miles an hour on the speedometer. Next gear, max speed throttle only, about 15. Next gear, it's like I got about 17 miles an hour. It cut me off. If you notice, when I'm switching gears, I actually let go of the throttle and turn my legs a little bit, because you don't want to be sending full power into your drive. Oh my God, these brakes. Because you do not want to be sending full power into your drivetrain when you're shifting. That is a recipe for disaster. You're going to snap your chain into pieces. So if we shift, we're going to gently pedal, next gear, and then we can continue on. Yeah, it looks like it cut me off at 20. This gear cuts me off at 25. Next gear, looks like we're hitting 28 right now. Let's just go to the top gear, see where we end up. I'm going to help this motor out a bit. So right now we're hitting 31. Yeah, so the top speed is mostly the same. Not a whole lot of difference there. We're going a little bit downhill, by the way. So it's not exactly accurate. But I'm still getting power, see that? I'm still pushing it. The motor's pushing this bike. Now we're getting cut off. So it looks like the cutoff is about 37 miles an hour. And here we want to downshift a bit, going up this hill. So mid-drives, they do give you a lot of torque and a lot of high speed, depending on how it's geared. But you have to be disciplined in how you change those gears. Otherwise, you are going to snap your drivetrain up. So mid-drives, they do require a little bit of skill, a little bit more finesse than hub motor bikes, but I am very, very, very curious as to how this is gonna go. So what we'll do, set up our drone. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, moment of truth. All right, here we go. Starting at the base. Lowest gear, 3, 2, 1, boom. See if it could do it. Oh, look at that, look at that, look at that. Yes. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. It did it, guys. I turned my pedals maybe like a quarter of the way. I thought it was going to get stuck, but it kept going. Let's do that again. Ready? I think this is a tiny bit further back. Let's give it a tiny bit more speed. Here we go. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes! It did it! Hell yeah! Look at that, guys. That's mid-drive power right there. And if I had even better gearing, it would do even better. That's awesome. Let's give it a rolling start. See how it does. This grass is insanely tall. It just gets bogged down in the grass. Yeah, so that didn't matter at all. The grass is just so tall. Look at that, guys. That's awesome. That is so cool. Look how cool this bike looks. This thing looks sick. Let me show you guys what I did with the gearing. All right, so check this out. Look at this huge cassette back here. This is a, like I said, a 12 or 13 to 46 tooth chainring. Huge upgrade from before, and as you could tell, I did need that new derailleur. Look at this. I can bang this around, and there's always going to be tension on the chain. That's the power of a clutched derailleur. See how you can turn it on or off? You can turn that clutch on or off. But this makes it so that the chain is very stable and solid, and there's no chain slap, so it sounds better, and it's better for the chain because it's going to stay on this chainring. So, upgrades from here. Honestly, I'm pretty happy with this setup right here. We climbed that big hill right over there. I'm not going to say no sweat because this bike did struggle. This is a 48 volt system, but it does peak at 1500 watts, so it's got plenty of power. If I did want it to have more torque, all I would do is get a smaller chainring up here, and that would probably give me all the torque I need. This thing would probably wheelie on its own. It already wants to bring the front wheel up from a dead stop. It is insanely torquey from a dead stop. That's the power of mid-drive motors. So like Surons and this kind of setup right here, when you use the gearing, you have ridiculous amounts of torque from 0 RPM. Typically hub motors, you need to get the wheel going and then it gives you torque. Geared hub motors are a little bit better, but this is the best torque from a dead stop. This is going to give you insane amounts of torque. Let's go ahead and retest the top speed of this bike. We're going to go to our secondary top speed testing site and see how this performs. Like I said earlier in my review video of this bike, I actually don't care about the top speed of this bike. Even if it goes like 25 tops, I don't care. I'm mostly interested about the off-road capabilities and the torque. And this thing is a monster. The suspension is great, and now the gearing is great. The tires are great. This thing is a beast. So I spent about $100 in parts, and I went to my local bike shop. Shout out to Biker's Edge in Bristol, Connecticut. They quoted me about $100 to install the cassette, this new shifter up here, and the derailleur. Not a bad price. I just didn't have the time to do all that stuff. I didn't have the tools, so I gave it to them and they did a clean install. I knew it would be perfect and well-tuned, so shout out to them again. All right, guys, let's head over to our secondary top speed testing site and we'll see what the top speed is. Check out this torque from a dead stop. Ready? I could probably wheelie this thing if I wanted to, especially up a hill. Whoa, look at that. Whoa, it wants to lift the front wheel up. No other geared hub motor bike that I have does that. All right, we switched gears. Now we can get some speed. The suspension on this thing is insanely nice. Once I get the brakes fixed, they are so loud. Once I switch out the pads, oh man, this is gonna be one of my favorite bikes. Sidewalk of Doom, no sweat. All I hear right now is the kickstand bouncing around. but this feels really good. I feel like that guy's about to run me over. Yeah, going over these bumps is so nice feeling. The suspension on this bike is one of the best I've ever tested. So we're gonna bring it up to highest gear. All right, so we're gonna pedal up to speed, maybe to like 27, 28, and see where we level out in speed. Got our GPS speed out. I think it's even better than it was before. I don't know why or how. Maybe because now it has just the right amount of torque to maximize the motor RPM to give us the most amount of speed. Let's do that on the way back. Here we go. All right, throttle only. Look at that. Guys, I think we gained some top speed. I remember this bike going like 30 and now we're going 32. All right, throttle only, 31. I did unlock this bike in the settings, but there's only so much you can do with 48 volts. 31 miles an hour or holding strong. That's pretty good, guys. I'll take it. All right, so this is about a 30 to 31 mile an hour e-bike. So I think the gearing optimized the motor performance at higher speeds, and we're going a little bit faster now. Interesting. Let's try the next biggest gear, the second to smallest gear. Let's see where that brings us. All right, so what we're gonna do, once again, turn around, help this thing up to speed. We know the speedometer is accurate. We're hitting 31, 0.7, 0.5, 31, 30. Let's do that on the way back. Here we go. Pedal up to speed, see where we level off. 32, 33, 32, about the same speed. All right, maybe a tiny bit slower. Very nice. Let's shift down a bit into a more moderate gear. See how fast it gets the wheel going? By the way, it's wobbling like that because I have flat out in the back. Flat out makes it a little bit wobbly. Look at that. It just whips the wheel right up to speed. So you have to find the perfect gearing when you're going up hills. That's the one downside. It takes a little bit more skill to ride these mid-drive bikes. See how the motor's bogging down a bit? Downshift, and now we're good. It's just like a car transmission. You gotta baby it a little bit. Now we're ramping up in RPM. Shift down, or shift up, so we can get some more speed. Now we're picking up speed. That's it for today, folks. Hope you liked the video. Quick one, just wanted to show you guys the power of upgrading your gearing on a mid-drive e-bike. This is the first bike to conquer the steep, grassy field hill. No other bike has done that yet that I've tested, except for my insanely powerful 5500 watt dual geared hub motor e-bike. That's the only thing that was able to do it. Now I just gotta upgrade these brakes. If you guys want to check out this bike, it is listed in the description below, and using that link to purchase anything from Yodo Bike's website will help this channel out. I earn a little bit of commission from that, so you'll help this channel out at no extra cost to you. For those of you who are using my links, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Helps me continue to make content like this. If you guys want to follow me on social media, I am on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I have 2 Facebook groups, e-bike addicts and high-speed e-bikes, 40 miles an hour and up. Feel free to check those out. That's it for today, folks. Until next time.